Hi everybody, I'm Chelsea in case you didn't know that already. I apologize if this video is a little bit jump cutty. Like this, or this, or this. Whoa, how'd I get here? Okay, so let me give you some backstory before diving into the problem that I'm studying. So if I were to use the phrase coming out, you would all know what I'm talking about, right? I mean, if I wanted to speak more scientifically, I'd say disclosure of sexual orientation. But I think in this context, coming out works just fine. Coming out is a huge life event for any gay, lesbian, bisexual, etc. Person. And coming out to parents, especially, is very important. I mean, parents are the ones who raised you, they gave you clothes and shelter and fed you. They have all these expectations and like some kind of vision of your future. So it's a big deal, and their acceptance, it matters, it just does. So it's not uncommon for there to be some anxiety or terror associated with coming out to parents. Why? Because in many cases, we have no idea how they're going to react. So what do we, as young people in the 21st century, do when we don't know something? We look it up on the internet. And why not? There's so much knowledge on the internet. It's so accessible, and we're pretty much there all the time anyway. And it's a good resource too, especially for figuring out sexuality. There are plenty of large LGBTQ plus communities on internet sites such as Reddit, Pinterest, Tumblr, my personal favorite, YouTube, and that's just a drop in the bucket. That's just naming a few. On these websites, we can find all kinds of great coming out stories, like these.
So I hugged my mom, and I just came back from hugging her, and I said, I'm gay.
I left my cell phone on the counter. My mom walked over and picked up my cell phone and read my text messages.
I was scared to tell him, so I told him that I had cancer, and then it was okay, I'm just joking, I'm gay.
I was like, Mom, and it just isn't there. It isn't happening. I have found someone, and she happens to be a girl, and I'm sorry. She said a lot of mean things.
So I was going to tell them on Skype, which was fair enough, but I chickened out. So I decided to send them an email.
And we can find a pretty full range of potential reactions like these.
Received a whole lot of hatred. Pretty much the worst.
And I remember my mom left. She started cracking up because I think she had no idea. I don't think either of them really knew. And my dad looked at my mom laughing and then turned back and looked at me and was like, good luck with women.
And I'm like, I'm gay. And then he says, yes, no babies.
And she just stared at me forever and said, why? 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 Why?
His logic was basically, you could spend the rest of your life never letting yourself fall in love because you're wired wrong.
And there's even tips and advice on how to come out and how not to come out, like this.
Coming out tips with LSF.
It's Marissa, and I'm just going to make a video on a couple of tips for how to come out to your friends and family.
Hey guys, so we have put together 25 ways to tell someone you're good.
You're good?
Gay.
Well, frankly, dear, I don't give a damn. I'm a queer. Our next point is that you shouldn't feel that there is a right or wrong way to do this. Despite what people may tell you, if you feel more comfortable writing a letter or an email to your parents or your family or your friend or someone to come out, that's completely okay. You can do it face to face, you can do it on the phone. Whatever you feel comfortable with is the best way to do it.
A lot of people stress and push that there is no right or wrong way to come out. It's however you're comfortable. which is solid advice. Here's the part that makes me curious. Does the way in which a woman chooses to come out to her parents affect the perceived level of acceptance from them? The advice given is come out in the way which makes you feel the most comfortable. If you're turning to the internet to help you figure out your sexuality and looking up stuff to help you find more confidence to come out, then you probably consider the internet to be a very comfortable and safe space. I mean, how much easier would it be to just be like, I'm gay, or, hey mom and dad, so I'm gay, or, hey mom and dad, so I'm gay, no big deal, see you later at dinner, stay tuned for more cat photos. Oh, did you know that Facebook has hashtags now? Or hashtag, hey mom and dad, hashtag, so I'm gay, and then whatever else you might want to say in 140 characters. So that would definitely be easier and less scary, but is coming out to your parents in such a way less effective in gaining their acceptance? So what I want to know is if coming out face to face appears to be significantly more effective in achieving more satisfying levels of acceptance from parents over coming out to them using technology or social media or any similar method. Also, I am just looking at women in this study. I wanted to make it as stripped down and simple as possible. So I eliminated the gender variable. If face-to-face does appear to be more significantly effective, then it could be something for someone who's wanting to come out to their parents to keep in mind. It's not telling them what to do or what's best for them, it's just a factor that they can keep in mind whenever they're making their decision. If face-to-face does not appear to be significantly more effective in gaining their acceptance, then it would imply that using technology or social media or whatever, it's not at all a lesser way, and it's perfectly valid, and your chances of getting a satisfying level of acceptance from your parents are just as good, which I also think would be an important discovery for anyone who's wanting to come out. Also, I want to know if the general belief that coming out face-to-face is a more effective method in gaining parents' acceptance is negatively associated with communication anxiety. Basically, the more communication anxiety you have, the more you disagree that face-to-face will get you a more satisfying level of acceptance from your parents. And alternately, the less communication anxiety you have, the more you will agree with the general belief that coming out face-to-face is a more effective method. I know that every person and situation is different, and I'm not trying to create a perfect coming out formula. I'm just trying to uncover information that could potentially help someone wanting to come out to their parents make an informed decision on the best way for that person to do so. And I think that that's all I got. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.